In this Access lesson, we're going to learn a little bit more about what we can do in Design View. Now, when I came to Design View, this pane was open, this navigation pane. I'm just going to minimize it to give us a little bit more room to work and to see the screen a little bit better. Now, we've been working with field names and data types, and now we're going to go down and explore what's in these field properties a little bit deeper. If you choose text, you have field size maximum of 255. Now, you can limit the people typing in these fields if you want to. So let's say for province, if we wanted to limit it to 2 characters only, so now they're only able to put the first 2 letters, right? So the abbreviated versions of the provinces. So you're able to do that. So you're able to work with the field sizes. That's one example. Another example is dates. Okay, so here with date and time selected, I can now come to Format, click inside here, and determine one of the formats that I'm going to give for typing in the dates. In this way, whoever's typing is going to have to follow this format. This caption here, now I mentioned in the last lessons, you can't use any spaces in your field names. However, if you want it to look nice when you go to Datasheet View, and I'll show you in a minute, you can type here in Caption and you can make it look nice here. So I can say last name with a nice space and capital letters. However, the real name of the field is still last name with no spaces, and that's important later when we get into building forms, etc. They don't like spaces. So here for the caption, I've got last name. I'm going to go to Datasheet View. It's of course asking me to save. And now last space name. So it's going to look nice here, but their true name is still going to be last name. So if you want to make your tables look good, use the caption field to make all of your labels look and seem a lot more sensible to the person doing the data entry. Default value is also very popular, so I'm going to go back to province. And for default value, it would be a natural, of course, if my school was in Welland, to use ON. So my default value is going to be Ontario. Another thing we can do for phone is we can use this input mask, and it's a really good idea for phone. So we're going to follow along here. So I clicked in input mask for phone, and I'm going to come here, and it's asked me to save once again. I'm going to say sure, and I'm going to choose the phone input mask and go next. And then I don't do anything here. I just know this from experience. And here it's important that you choose with symbols. What this is going to do for the people doing data entry, it's going to put the brackets in for them, and it's also going to put that little space, and it will put in the hyphen. So all they need to worry about are the actual numbers. And trust me, when you're doing data entry, any shortcut that you can provide is going to be appreciated and helpful. So now that's done. A data validation rule speaks to things like don't let the people type in something like this. So here I've typed in a validation rule saying that the date has to be smaller than 2008-10-10. Okay, and then you can put some text here. Date must be before today's date, or date must be before, right? So it's got to be prior to a certain date if they're a high school student. So that way you know that they're not making any mistakes when they're doing their data entry. Now, of course, when you're done all of this and you want to go to Datasheet View, you're going to have to save. And now, I'm just going to pretend to type some data into some of these. And you'll see that province already has Ontario in it, so that's good. And when I go to type in phone number, I'm just simply typing the numbers, and those values are coming in automatically, which is a nice time saver. And if I try to enter a date that's too old, it's going to tell me that that's not an appropriate date. There's one last one that I believe I forgot. Oh, it's not letting me go until I do that properly. So I'll go 2000 and then 10 and then 10, and now it's letting me go. I'm going to go back to this view. There's one other here that I forgot to mention that's required you can make it so that one of these fields or any of these fields is required, and if the person tries to skip it, they'll get a message saying, no, this is a required field. So it's just some advanced properties that you need to know about when you're building and designing a table for data entry, some of which can make the job of the person doing the data entry a lot easier.